Let's call this, what is it? 9-1 and more. And more. Got it?
Yep.
All right. So now let's start off with something simple. These are the things that you need to know in order to do this, okay? So y equals 2x plus 1. Underneath of that, put the slope-intercept formula.
Which is y mx plus b.
Yep. So write that up right underneath. Match it up. You don't have a stylus, do you?
No, because my computer doesn't let me write on the.
Oh, you're doing it via your mouse?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. We'll do the best. I'll make sure that I don't do anything crazy. Okay. Put a square around B and what B is equal to in the other equation. So for instance,
Like this. That's a 2 right there.
no, we don't want a 2.
Oh.
We don't want a 2. What I want, that's equal to B, correct?
Yes.
So do the same thing for slope.
So this would be the slope?
I can't see it. You got to put a box around it or a circle. And you're close. You added in something. What should not be included?
The x.
X. Good. Oh, I can't erase yours.
So it's like this?
Yeah. There you go. All right. So now that gives us two things. It's going to tell us what the y-intercept is, which is always 0 for the x and b for the y, because this is x, y. Then it also gives us the slope. The slope is always what?
It's rise over run.
Rise over run. Therefore, the slope is 2. How do I make that into a fraction?
It would be 2 over 1 since you don't have a number for it.
Good. All right. So now that tells me, the rise tells me to do what?
To go up 2 and then to the right 1.
There you go. So now, okay, you don't have to erase yours. There's a button that just clicks. You can click the button up top and it'll say erase all. So that way you're easy. Okay. So now you should be able to graph it. This is your X. This is your Y, correct?
Correct.
My Y-intercept is 0. What? What number goes in here?
2.
Not 2.
Oh, 1.
1, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So now, since 0, 1, if this is my 0, where do I go? Up or down?
You go 1 up.
1 up, because this is 1, correct?
Yes.
All right. So I make my dot. Now, how do I get my second dot?
The second dot, you would have to go up 2 and then to the right 1.
Up to the right 1. You're exactly correct. Okay. So up to, because that's what that told me to do, to the right 1. And then you make your second dot. Now what do I do?
Then you connect them.
So if I look at this whole process, y equals 2x plus 1, you were able to find the y-intercept, you're able to find the slope, you're able to graph it, correct? All right, so I'm going to leave you alone, and you're going to do the second one. Y equals negative, let's do 4 over 3 x plus 2. You do everything.
All right.
Speak out loud so I can hear you.
Um,
What you're thinking?
where it's 4, -3. Oh, 4 over -3.
It's -4. The negative's out front, so say
Oh,
-4 over 3.
-4 over 3.
Mhm.
It goes up 4 and then to the left 3?
That's if you're saying the negative is down here in the basement. Yes. If you're writing it like this,
Mm-hmm.
up 4, left 3, correct? Which is exactly the same thing as doing this. Okay?
But since it's in the middle,
If
does it?
it's in the middle, usually you would put it on the top. Does that make sense?
So I just use it as -4 over 3.
Yes.
All right. So start it like this.
Don't make a new graph. Put it on this graph.
All right.
Put it on the original.
So that's for 0, and then we go up 2. Oh no, that's 1. And then for the new point, we go down 4, and then to the right 3.
So let me ask you this question. This spot right here, is that supposed to be on 2?
Yes.
So it would be right here, correct?
Yes.
On the line. Each
Yeah.
line is worth 1.
Oh, okay.
All right. Each line's worth 1.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Did I do it correct?
So because it's a little, I know you're doing it with your mouse. It's a little hard. Okay. So this is 0, 0, correct?
Yeah.
We go up 2. So 1, 2.
1, 2, and then from there, I went down 4, and then to the right 3.
So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
yes.
So
Off a little bit.
I'll move it over a little bit and let's redo it because I want you to see it. Okay. So my line was 1. So here's 1. And then I went up 2 and to the right 1, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I got this line just like that. Now you said go up 2, correct?
Yes. Go up 2 and then to the right 1.
No, no, no.
Oh, we're doing the new one?
You're doing yours.
All right.
So we went up 2.
And then from there, you go down 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And then you go to the right 3.
So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. So I would be way out here, correct?
Yes.
And now what?
And then you connect them.
Yes, just like that. Good. So where are they both true?
Where they intersect.
And where is that?
That would be
I don't need numbers.
oh, it would be right here. I'll circle it.
Yes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, now it does.
Okay. So since that makes sense, you should be able to do this over and over and over and over and over and over again. Because all you're doing is one equation, correct?
I just think that like on the program, it like It was a bit more confusing.
All right,
I had to graph it.
let's pull it up. Erase all your lines.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it. I get the program. I looked at it a little bit as far as what it was trying to do. But let's see. Um, all right, 9.1.
Mm-hmm.
You can see everything here, right?
Yes.
All right. So come down here. Here's the x minus 1 equals 13, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I want to graph that, what format is that in?
Um, y-intercept and slope form. Slope form.
Nope.
I don't remember the other ones.
You gotta know these, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we have standard form. And standard form is what?
A plus
AX.
B
AX plus BY is equal to C.
plus C.
Then slope intercept form is what?
MX plus B.
Y equals
Y equals MX plus B.
MX plus B. Sharks has entered the waiting room for this meeting. Who's that? Who's Sharks? I don't know who that is. Anyway, moving on. All right, slope intercept form. Then there's what?
Point slope form.
Point slope form. What is point slope form?
I don't remember the formula to that one. Y minus Y.
Y1.
Oh, Y minus Y1. MX minus X1.
M times the quantity X minus X1. So those are the ones you need to know that. Now, these are the ones that we did a lot of problems with. Here we did some and we moved on, okay? So here we go. If I have X minus Y equals 13, what am I solving for?
You're solving for C. For X.
No. I want to be able to solve for Y. Why do I solve for Y? What format is that going to put me in?
Slope intercept form.
Slope intercept form. See, Y is all alone.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to solve for anything, what do I have to do?
You have to first you have to do the 4 steps.
4 steps. What's the first step say?
First step, I have to get my notes. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
The first step should be distribute.
What's the first step?
I don't have the notes to that.
Well, remember that you know how to get to OneNote, right?
Yes.
And how do I get to OneNote?
Through the email that you sent, and then from there, I click the link.
Let's make our life even easier. How about we go to my web page,
Mm-hmm.
and on my web page, I go to links. And if I go to links, what do you see?
OneNote.
And if I click on that, it takes me to OneNote. And if I go to resources,
You
what's
then go to
resources
four
going to
step
tell me?
to
4
solve
steps,
the equation.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's your 4 steps. We need to memorize these 4 steps.
Simplify, combine like terms.
There we go. So that's what we want to be able to do. Simplify / combine like terms. Oh, let me get my annotating back on. Okay, so simplify / combine like terms. Now there's 4 checklist items for simplifying. What are they?
PEMDAS, which is parentheses, addition, division, addition, subtraction.
What does it stand for,
Oh,
PEMDA? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So parentheses,
yes.
exponents, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything to do for PEMDAS?
No.
No. So nothing there. Is there anything to do for combined like terms?
No.
Nope. And the checklist items would have been PEMDAS, distribute, remove fractions, and factor, correct?
Yes.
There's nothing to do there. There's nothing to combine. So I move on to step number 2. What's step number 2 say?
Step number 2. 1 second. I'll check OneNote.
You need to know this. This is the stuff that literally will make your life easier once you memorize this, like remembering the times table. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just makes your life easier.
Remove all fractions from near your variable.
That is underneath simplify. Step number 2 says something else.
Distribute. That's
underneath simplify. There's 4 checklist items, and then there's 4 steps. The 4 checklist items is underneath simplify. You got to know what to do to simplify something. But what is the second step?
So the next one is distribute.
Remove all.
Oh, I said that in the beginning.
Remove all what?
Remove all addition, subtraction from near your variable.
There you go. All right. Is there any addition or subtraction near this variable?
Yes.
There's an X, correct? So what are we going to do to get rid of it?
Subtract.
Subtract, because X is what?
X is a positive.
Yeah. So I subtract. What I do to one side, I must?
You must do to the other.
So X minus X goes to what number?
0.
0. Bring down the what?
The Y.
Is it just Y?
No, it's bring down it's the M.
No. There's no M in there. Bring down what? What's right in front of the Y?
A negative.
Negative. Bring down the what now?
The equal sign.
Now what?
The 13.
And now what?
The variable X.
Not X. What kind of X?
Negative X.
Negative X. Make sure you keep those signs. Step 3, what do you do?
Step 3 is to remove all multiplication, division from near your variable.
Is there a number in front of that Y?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Negative what?
Negative 1Y.
Negative 1Y. So that says negative 1 times Y, correct?
Yes.
So what are you going to do to remove it?
You divide.
Divide. So I divide by what?
Divide by -1 itself.
-1. If I do it to one side, I must.
To the other.
There you go. -1 divided by -1 is what number?
0.
No.
Oh.
4 divided by 4.
That's 1.
So what's -1 divided by -1?
1.
There you go. So what's left?
Just y itself.
Good. 13 divided by -1 is what?
-1.
13 divided by -1.
-13.
There you go. And what's in front of this x? What number?
The negative.
Negative what?
-x.
No.
Or -1x.
-1x. So -1 divided by -1 is what?
1.
Good. So that's a +1, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I could put 1x, but do I have to put that 1?
Not necessarily.
Okay. So now this is in slope-intercept form, except for the x's behind the b. So I'm just going to rewrite it so that the x is in front. Keep this sign. So it's a +x minus 13. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. You're allowed to do that because 4 plus 3 is what?
7.
What's 3 plus 4?
7.
Does it matter which order I put those in?
No.
No. Okay. So as long as I keep those signs right, I'm good. So now this is in slope-intercept form. So since it's in slope-intercept form, can we graph it?
Yes.
Right. So what is my y-intercept?
It would be not
Zero.
0.
It's 0.
0, comma 13.
Not 13, but what?
X, which is 1.
No. Keep it on the 13. It's not 13. It's what?
1. -1.
Not -1.
-13.
There you go.
Oh.
-13. That's very important. -13 is different than +13, correct?
Yes.
All right. What's my slope?
Your slope would be 1.
1. So 1 what?
1 over would be 1 over 1.
1 over 1. So I go which direction?
You go up 1 and then you go to the right 1.
There you go.
Overrun.
So now all I have to do is graph that. Where do I start?
You start, let me annotate it. You start around here.
Here's 0. And go where?
You go up 1 and then you go to the right.
I cannot graph a slope. I need a point. So graph what?
0.
And
then you graph 13.
What kind of 13?
-13. Let me erase that.
It's all the way down here, right?
Yeah, -13.
Now I do what?
Then you go up 1 and then you go to the right 1.
So notice I clicked on this line. I click right here and I go to here.
Oh, that's how you use it.
And I'm done.
I didn't even know about that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that gives me my line. Now I have to do it again. Does that make sense? Because I have 2 of these equations. So I'm going to clear all this. Right? So what is my second equation?
2x plus y equals 2.
And what do I have to do in order to graph?
You have to put it in slope-intercept form.
And how am I going to do that?
4 steps.
You can't just say 4 steps. I need to solve for something. 4 steps is how you solve. what you do to solve or what you're solving for is what you need to be able to distinguish. You're
Solve
solving for what?
for y.
For y. Now that I know that I'm solving for y, I can do the what?
The 4 steps or the 4 checklist items.
4 steps. The 4 checklist items are embedded in there. Okay. So
Mhm.
there we go. What is the first step?
Simplify combine like terms.
Good. Anything to simplify. What's the 4 checklist items?
That would be the 4 checklist items is the 4 that's under simplify, correct?
Yes.
Uh, you would have to use PEMDAS first.
Mm-hmm. What's next?
After that, it's distribute,
Mm-hmm. What's after that?
remove fractions, and factor.
Factor. Do you have to do any one of those in this problem?
Um,
Is there any PEMDAS?
no.
Good. Is there anything to distribute?
Yes.
Do you see parentheses?
No.
So is there anything to distribute?
No.
Are there any fractions?
No.
And have we even talked about factoring?
Not yet.
Okay, so nothing to do for simplify. Anything to combine like terms?
Um, yes, because they're both 2, I guess. Or
Mhm. 2 is 2x. The other one's a constant 2. And when we combine like terms, usually we're trying to either combine constants or we're trying to combine the variables with each other. So that's an x, that's an y. They're not in the same family, are they?
yeah, they're not.
They're not. So there is nothing to do for the first step. What's the second step say?
The second step of it's remove all addition, subtraction from near your variable.
Anything to do?
Um, yes, because it's a positive y, so and it's positive 2x.
Good.
So
So how am I going to get rid of that 2x?
you subtract 2x from itself, and then you do it on the other side as well.
Good. Why am I not going to put it underneath of that 2?
Because you're not actually subtracting from it.
Why?
Because you're trying to get rid of the 2x.
Mm. What's true about everything? I can only add and subtract things that are in the same what?
The same category.
Same category or same family, right?
Mhm.
2 is a constant. 2x is in what family?
In the variable
In the x family. This
family.
is the y family. This is the x family. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So 2x minus 2x I can do. 2 minus 2 is 0.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
So it's just x itself, or no? We just get rid of
0x. What's 0 times x?
0.
There you go. So what should I bring down?
You bring down the y
Bring down a positive y. Don't forget your what?
equal sign,
Bring down the,
positive 2,
and then
the negative 2x.
negative 2x. Good. Is y all by itself?
Yes.
Good. So now, is it in slope intercept form?
No, but you can rewrite it.
Good. So I get y what?
Equals 2x minus 2.
Not 2x.
Oh, equals 2 minus 2x, or negative 2x
Good.
minus 2.
What kind of 2 is this?
It's positive 2.
So I should put what?
Plus.
There you go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So now, what is my y-intercept?
It would be 0, 0, 2.
0, 2. Good, because this is my b, correct?
Yes.
What is my slope?
Negative 2x. No x. Negative 2 over 1.
There you go. So what does that tell me to do?
That's your starting point.
What's your starting point?
Your starting point is 0, 2.
There you go. And then what would I do?
And then you go down 2 and then to the right 1.
There you go. All right. So now let's do that. So I click on this. Notice I'm clicking. I can click on here or here, and it'll tell me what to do. So where do I go?
You first start at 0 and then you go to the right 2.
Why would I go to the right? What does this represent? The 0.
0 is the origin.
No. 0 is what?
0 is x.
On the x-axis. Good. So there's 0. What's the 2 represent?
2 is the y, so you go up 2.
There you go. So here's that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now what do I do?
Then you go down 2.
1, 2.
And then you go to the right 1.
Right 1. You see what I did?
Mm-hmm.
Done. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Now the thing is, with these, that's good. That one goes through. That one goes through. And if you want to erase it, you can. Just want to make sure this is right on it.
Yeah, it is.
Good, because it looks like it's getting close to that intersection, right?
Which would be -8 and 5.
No. Always put the X first.
So it would be 5 and then -8.
There you go. Cool?
Yes.
And let's check the answer. The solution to the answer is the order pair relationship in 2 graph lines. Okay. Oh, we didn't put the answer. This is going to be right there. So what do you put?
You put 5, -8.
5 comma -8. It's going to be right there.
Don't forget the parentheses because when I was doing this, it
was going crazy on that.
Yeah, you can't forget the parentheses.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm looking here, it's kind of crazy because the graph doesn't really zoom in and out. So I understand some of the difficulties that y'all would have, but that's pretty dead on and that's pretty dead on. And this right here is 5 and -8. So it's right there. So I would plug in something that's close. Most of the time they're not going to give you something that's fraction because it's too hard to put that in here. You know what I mean? So that's good. Do you understand how to do that?
Yes.
Okay. And if you ever had trouble, definitely come up here to the step-by-step. The step-by-step would really work everything out for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You go through, but it's going to tell you to do another problem. Okay. All right. So let's just save and close that. What else do we need to go over?
Since we got 9.1 out of the way, 9.2.
Okay. 9.2. 9.2 is substitution, right?
Yes.
So let's stop my annotating here. There we go. I gotta clear that. All right. So 9.2 is substitution. Let's use, man, I hate that. All right. Let's use, do you remember the problem from that work? Because I want to use the same exact problem and you'll see that it works for everything. So, we were here. Oh, I got out of it. Let's resume. Let's see. You've already sent, yeah, I want to leave that. All right, so I'm going to copy that into here. Not there. I want this one, okay. So what I'm going to do is copy this. into here. Where'd it go? It went all the way up here. All right. So you see that we have the same exact problem, right?
Yes.
Nothing's different. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to use substitution. Now, when you're using substitution, that means you need to solve for one of the variables. What variable do we like to solve for?
Y.
Y. Okay. And the reason why we solve for Y, it puts us in what?
Slope-intercept form.
Slope-intercept form. So here we go. Let's do solve for Y. If I'm solving for Y, I do the what?
The 4 checklist items.
No.
The 4 steps and the checklist items.
There you go. So here we go. What's the first step?
Simplify, combine like terms.
Anything to simplify?
No.
Anything to combine?
No.
Second step, what do?
Remove all addition and subtraction.
And what are you going to do here?
You subtract.
Subtract what?
You subtract x
Good.
from itself.
What do you do to one side?
Yeah.
There you go. So x minus x is what?
0x.
Bring down the
negative.
Negative what?
Y.
There you go. Don't forget the
Equal sign.
Bring down
is that a 13 or a B?
13.
13.
And then what?
You bring down the negative x.
There you go. Is x alone?
Yes.
Is x alone?
No, the y is.
That's what I meant to say. Is y alone? Is y alone?
Yes, y is alone.
Is y alone?
Oh, no, because it has the negative sign.
There you go. So there's -1. What am I going to do? Step 3, what does it say?
Step 3 is remove all addition, division from near your variable.
Not addition.
Oh, multiplication, division from near your variable.
Good. So what am I going to do?
Divide.
Divide by what?
-1.
-1. What I do to one side, I
Do to the other.
So -1 divided by -1 gets me what?
1.
What's left?
Y.
Equals, what's 13 divided by -1?
-13. -13. And then you bring down the -1x.
Nope. -1 divided by -1.
1.
Good. So what is that? A +1, correct?
Yes. And
So
then
get
just
a positive x. Is that in slope-intercept form?
Yes, but you just have to rewrite it so x is closer to the equal sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then you minus 13.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, this says y is equal to what?
-13.
Y is equal to what?
To x.
X.
X minus 13.
There you go. It's equal to x minus 13.
Mm-hmm.
So that means if I know the second equation, 2x plus y is equal to 2, can I take this y and substitute it in for that y? Because isn't y equal to y?
Yes.
So therefore, when I substitute, what do I use?
2x plus.
Not 2x.
Oh.
What's y equal to?
1.
What's y equal to?
It's equal to x minus 13.
There you go. And when you substitute in, always use what?
Parentheses.
Parentheses. So look, 2x plus, instead of putting y, I put x minus 13 equals what?
2.
2. Now what are we going to solve for?
Solve for x.
X. Notice I circled it twice. That means something. So here we go. First step.
Simplify, combine like terms.
Good. What does simplify mean?
Your
checklist items.
Simplest items. I don't remember.
What's the checklist?
Uh, it's PEMDAS.
Good. Anything to do for PEMDAS?
Yes, because there's parentheses.
Can I do anything inside the parentheses? X
Uh,
minus 13. Can I do that?
there's exponents.
There's no
I
exponents.
mean,
Well, there
not.
are, but they're 1, so it's not doing anything. So can I take X and subtract 13 from it?
Yes.
No, they're different, correct?
Yes.
All right. So X is in the X family. Negative 13 is a constant, so I can't subtract them, correct?
Correct.
All right. So nothing to do for PEMDAS. There's no exponents. Is there any multiplication or division?
Yes.
There is, but can I do anything with it? It says
No,
2 times X, but I can't do anything with that.
you can't.
Addition, subtraction, anything there?
Yes, there is.
There is addition or subtraction, but can I add anything or subtract it?
No.
No. All right. So the next one is distribute. Distribute, we can do it, but it's really pseudo do, because right here is a +1. I can distribute this +1 in, and all that's going to do is eliminate my parentheses. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. 2x. 1 times x is what?
1x.
Good. 1 times negative 13 is what?
Negative 13.
And then there's a 2. So my parentheses went away. Nothing really happened, correct?
You just basically took away the parentheses.
Yes. Am I done with step number 1?
Yes.
It says simplify / combine like terms. How many circles do you see?
2.
So are all my x's in one place?
Yes.
Are they? If they
They're
are,
not.
it should only have one circle, correct?
Yeah, they're not in one place.
So I need to do what?
Combine like terms.
And now, are they on the same side?
Yes.
Yes, they're all on the left side of the equal sign, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that means just do what it tells you to do. It says 2x plus x. What number is in front of the second x?
1.
1. So that says 2 plus 1 is equal to what?
3x.
There you go. So I get 3x minus 13 is equal to what?
2.
Step number 2 says what?
Step number 2 is to distribute.
What's step number 2?
Oh, remove all addition, subtraction from your variable.
So is there anything to do?
Yes, you have to subtract.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you subtract 3x.
This says subtract.
Mm-hmm.
What should I do? I should do the inverse, which is to do what? Add. What am I going to add?
You add 3x to itself and then 3x.
What's circled?
X.
So is x protected?
Yes.
Yes. So we don't touch the x.
You
Right
add
next to the x, we're going to add a what?
You add 13.
There you go. And what I do to one side, I must
do to the other.
Now, why am I putting it underneath of the 2?
Because it's a constant.
There you go. So now let's come back over here to the left. 3x. Anything happen to it?
No.
So just bring it down, correct?
Yes.
Negative 13 plus 13 is what?
26.
Negative 13 plus 13.
0.
0. Don't forget your
equal sign.
2 plus 13 is what?
15.
There you go. Step number 3. What do we do?
Remove all multiplication, division from your variable.
Is there any multiplication or division near that variable?
Yes.
Yes. That says 3 times x, correct?
Correct.
So what are you going to do?
You multiply. No, you divide.
Good. Do the inverse. So I divide. Divide by what?
3x.
Mm.
Just divide it by 3.
There you go. X is protected. We don't touch it, correct?
Yes.
So what I do to one side, I must?
Do to the other.
What's 3 divided by 3?
1.
1. So what's left?
1 equals
Not
15.
1.
Oh, just x.
Just x. 15 divided by 3.
5.
So now you know what x is equal to, correct?
Correct.
If you know what x is equal to, can you solve for y?
Yes.
Doesn't that say y is equal to x minus 13?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of writing an x, what can I write?
Y equals 5 minus 13.
There you go. And what's 5 minus 13?
That would be negative 18. No.
Nope, not 18.
Uh, it would be negative. Oh, negative 8.
Negative 8, correct?
Yes.
Isn't that what the answer was? Then we put our answer as 5, negative 8.
We did. Oh yeah, we did.
That's what we said, right?
Mm-hmm.
We said 5, negative 8. Well, we use substitution, and guess what? We got the same answer. 5, negative 8.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now watch that. This is substitution. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do elimination. Same exact problem. It was x minus y equals, let me just go over here and grab this real quick. There we go. Copy. Paste. All right. So x minus y is equal to 13. And then we had 2x plus y is equal to 2. Now, when we want to do elimination, there's two things you're looking for. One thing, but it either is the additive inverse, and this we've been using, I just never call it that.
Mm-hmm.
If I said 3 minus 3, what would you get?
You would get 0.
0. What if I said negative 3 plus 3? What would you get?
0.
0. That's an additive inverse. Whenever you're using numbers that will add up to 0. So if it was a positive 3, I would subtract 3. If it was a negative 3, I'll add 3. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the same thing applies if I put an x on there. If I want the additive inverse, I just subtract it, and I would get 0. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And if it was negative, I would what? Add it. I would still get 0. That's an additive inverse. Or their numbers are just what? Equal. So if I have 1, a number that's equal to 1 is just what? 1.
1.
What if it was 3? Then the number would be 3. If it was negative 8, then it'd be negative 8. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking for that combination. Where are we looking for that combination at? We're looking at the coefficients.
Yeah.
So what is this number up above?
1.
1. Is 1 equal to 2?
No.
Is 1 an additive inverse of 2?
Yes.
Is it? 1 plus 2 is equal to what?
3.
3. Is that 0?
No.
No, so it's not an additive inverse.
Oh.
What is this number right here?
Negative 1y.
Negative 1. What's this number right here?
Negative 1.
Where do you see negative?
Oh, positive 1.
Positive 1. Are they additive inverses?
Yes.
Yes, because negative 1 plus 1 is what?
0.
0. So put a box around it,
Mm-hmm.
because now I identify my additive inverse. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And watch what I do. If I have an additive inverse, I add the equations. So I put a line under it, and now let's add. 1 plus 2 is equal to what?
3x.
So I get 3x. What is negative 1 plus positive 1?
1.
Negative 1 plus 1?
No, that would be 0.
0. So 0 times y is 0. Don't forget your what?
Equal sign.
What's 13 plus 2?
That would be 15.
15. What can we solve for now?
Solve for y?
Look at
No, solve for x.
Solve for x. How do we solve for anything?
You have to use the 4 checklist items.
4 steps. So 4 steps says simplify / combine like terms. Anything to do?
No.
Remove all addition subtraction from near your variable. Is there any addition or subtraction near that variable?
No.
Remove all multiplication and division from near that variable. Is there any?
Yes.
What are we going to do?
Divide.
Divide by what?
3, and then 3 on the other side. Yes.
X is equal to what?
5.
If x is equal to 5, what can I do with that?
You have to rewrite the problem and just fill in the x with the 5.
Yep, that's called substitution. Does it matter which equation I use?
No.
No. So here we go. Let's use x minus y is equal to 13. So instead of writing x, I could write what?
5.
So I get 5 minus y is equal to what?
13.
What am I solving for?
Solving for y now.
Step number 1 says what?
Simplify combine like terms.
Anything to do?
No.
No. Step 2.
You have to use PEMDAS.
Step 2.
Oh, remove all addition, subtraction from near your variable.
Any addition or subtraction near that variable?
No.
What's next to this variable?
5.
Isn't that a positive 5?
Yes.
So what are you going to do to it?
Subtract because it's the other way around.
There you go. It's the inverse. 5 minus 5 is what?
0.
So what comes down?
The negative y.
Good. Don't forget your
Equal sign.
13 minus 5.
Negative. Not a negative. 8.
Good. Step 3, what do you do?
Remove all multiplication and division from near your variable.
Is there anything in front of that y?
Yes.
Good. So what are we going to do?
You divide.
Divide by what?
Divide by -1.
What I do to one side, I must.
To the other.
Y is equal to what?
0. Oh. That would be 7.
8 divided by -1.
Oh, 8 divided by -1. That would be 8. -8.
-8.
Yes.
You just told me that x is equal to 5, y is equal to -8. Isn't that the same answer we got?
Yes.
See how we just solved it 2 different ways? 3 different ways now. We graphed it and we did it on the computer. We then used substitution.
Is substitution just to like check if you got the answer correct?
No, I might ask you to solve the problem through substitution. I might ask you to solve the problem by graphing it. I might ask you to solve the problem by elimination. So if I'm going to graph it, I need a graph, and I graph the 2 lines. If I'm going to do substitution, I need to solve for one of the variables and then substitute it into the second equation. Then I'll get an answer for x. If I get an answer for x, I can substitute it back in for that equation and find out what y is equal to. Does that make sense?
Yes.
If I'm doing elimination, I need to find the what? Additive inverse, or if it's equal. And I am going to eliminate that variable by going what?
By either adding or subtracting.
There you go. If it's an additive inverse, what are you going to do?
You add,
If they're equal to each other, what are you going to do?
subtract.
Subtract. So there you go. So now, once I eliminate one, I solve for the lone variable. I get what x is equal to, or y, and then I do what?
And then you rewrite the equation and fill in x with what you got.
There you go. That's called substitution. And therefore, I solve for the second variable, and now I have my answer. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Any other issues?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right, my man. Ask for help anytime. I'm good with it.
I will. I'll email you if I have any problems.
Let me ask you this question. Do you mind if I post this video as a Zoom meeting?
Sure.
Okay.